Hey, Brian Davis races, and you can too. Man, I am so excited for you guys to watch this video. There is some amazing team tactics that we put together, my team put together in this race, and we got a great result. I'm excited to share that with you. So please share this with someone you know on your team or someone you know that you want to introduce tactics to in general. Okay, one other little piece of news. Some of you may know that I have launched and created products and launched them on Kickstarter before. Well, I'm going to be doing that again this fall. I have a new product. I'm super excited to have found the perfect product, I think a perfect manufacturer, and I've been testing the product for a year and a half trying to find the combination of those two things, and I got it. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway to actually give out that product in prototype stage to people who win the giveaway. So follow me on Instagram for more details. It'll be a couple of weeks, but it's at Brian Davis Races. Certainly I'll have more information on this channel here, so please subscribe to the channel, and I'll try to do more giveaway stuff coming up because it's a lot of fun to connect with you guys. By the way, if you want a free t-shirt, figure out how to email me, shoot me an email, and I'll send you a link. Supplies are limited, but if you can figure out my email and you wear the shirt somewhere cycling related and take a picture, then I will give that to you for free. If you're overseas, I'll charge you 10 bucks for shipping, but that's it. All right, that's all I got. Watch this video, enjoy this video, comment, because there's a tricky thing that happened at the end. I still don't know what the right answer would have been, so watch all the way to the end and then give me your thoughts on what you would have done in your experience. All right, that's all I got. Brian Davis Races. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Thank ya! Today we're at the Wisconsin State Championships in Fitchburg, Wisconsin. There's bands at night, fireworks at night, kids races, 5K, all kinds of stuff. So hats off to the organizers. This is a great example of what a bike race could be and maybe should be. So I have the family here today too. Hi, family.
Hi.
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 Who's excited to go to a bike race?
Yay.
Super excited. All right, time to get warmed up. Oh, and I brought my kilt. Best thing about today, my kilt. Right, so here we go. This is first half of this first lap. I don't know why I missed the start line, but I did. So in any event, this is my teammate on the front, John Lester, and then we are 3 riders deep on our team. Diablo cycling, the red and black kit, and then the rider right ahead of me, I believe that's Andy, of course, is yellow and black, or fluoro and black, and they had 4 riders in the group, maybe even 5. I guess we'll find out. So super fun race. Really excited to bring this to you guys. So we had a plan before we set out to do this race. So John Lester, who's leading the group right now, is super strong. He is an incredible time trialist and can just hold a huge amount of power for an extraordinary amount of time. It's a really valuable asset to have someone like that on your team. Big diesel engine. So our thought was, well, Andy can do the same thing, the other teammate. I am the least likely to be called a diesel engine. So I'm more of a turbo, really short sprint, and then I'm kind of petered out. So Andy could have done this. Our plan was to get John in a break or Andy in a break, and then just see if I could rest for a sprint in case it came to that. And then we had a plan for John would do like 2 laps to go or 1.5. These are really short laps, so John would do like 1.5 to go or 2 laps to go, and then Andy would take over in the last half of the last lap and hopefully deliver me to a win. So that was kind of our plan. It was a A, B, and C plan, so to speak. I guess it was really A and B. Well, A was John, B was Andy in a break, and then C was me in a sprint. So I guess that's accurate. All right, so this is in Fitchburg, Wisconsin, about 2 hours from my house. It is super hot today. We are going into the headwind section right now on the top of the course map. And the wind is going to be an interesting thing throughout the day. It wasn't extraordinarily strong, but it's not a very hard course. So whatever things are out there to make it any amount difficult are really important. So what we're going to go through here is this little chicane, and then it's a hard left, and then we're going to get a tailwind through the start-finish line. All right, so knowing that we want to get somebody off the front, there's some games that I want to play, not necessarily on purpose, but if the opportunity arises itself, then I'll mess around and create these opportunities, and I think my teammates do the same thing. So our friend over there to the right was in a previous video. I still hope that he gets some rollers this winter. If you're listening, please buy rollers. Just to smooth out the lines that he seems to take in the pack. So anyway, really strong rider, and happy to have him racing. But he would save a lot of energy. He does get dropped from this race. He'd save a lot of energy by not being so stressed out, and I find that rollers are a great way to massively reduce the stress of spinning in a straight line and not worrying so much about moving, or if somebody bumps into you or something like that. Rollers are good for that. Even it doesn't seem like they would be, but they are. So in any event, all right, gap games. Oh, I forgot to explain it. So anyway, I let a gap open up, so I forced other people to close it, and I think I'm going to do the same thing here. The gentleman I am behind here, he takes a wider loop on that turn, which was smart, so then he can find a place to tuck in, and I was happy to go along with his little plan there. And then a group opens up off the front, and I guess I have to close that one, so that's not a very good game. Oh, that was I was explaining that someone else did it to us, so letting that little gap open up. Alright, so here's our first, I think, a first attack. So let's see the duration. We're 11 minutes into the race, and it's been a pretty mellow race for the first 11 minutes. It's a 60-minute race. Pretty mellow. Now, this rider attacks, but he doesn't hit it hard enough, and he does it on the tailwind section, which makes it much easier for people to cover those attacks. So what does that mean? No separation. That means I don't care. So I'm happy to drift to the back and not spend really any energy at this moment to ramp up our pace. So it's a free ride to go faster, which is just fine with me. So that style of attack is just not hard enough, and it's not in the right place to get separation. And if there's no separation, then there's no reason for me to cover. So gap game, I think I got my number. Gap game. All right, so another gap game here. You see Andy, my teammate, over to the left, up front of the group, and I think he is going to move up the alley. And I see him moving up there, and he's going to make a little move, and that's Andy's a known commodity in this group, so people are definitely going to want to cover that. Now, the other team that's well represented, the yellow and black team, they have one particularly strong rider, and that rider was doing the pro races in Tour of America's Dairyland, Patrick. So Patrick's been on the show, actually. He is an inventor as well. So you have to scroll through and find my interview with Patrick. Pretty cool product for the pain cave. I still use it today. All my stuff is set up on the Pad Bone. So check out Pad Bone. Google that and you'll find him. All right, so here's another one. So anyway, Andy went. I left a gap. No big deal. Other people closed it because they don't want to see Andy go anywhere. All right, now this is a setup attack. So here's the wind again. Now I'm going to go into the headwind because that is a little bit more disincentivizing to the group. Now, my plan on doing an attack was that I didn't really have a plan. It was just extraordinarily slow, and I was getting really, frankly, bored. So I'm going to do something. It's 20 minutes into the race. I'm going to go make an attack. And I guess people realize that I'm not a diesel engine, so they don't really care if I go do anything. And so I have some criticism with the way that I've been attacking this year. So I'll get these gaps, which is great. But I feel like I hit it so hard that it's hard for me to dial it back down and recover. So I feel like the change that I would like to make is hit it half as hard. There's my family over to the right, so we'll point them out a little later. So anyway, I only go off the front here for a half a lap, but it was interesting that they let me have that big of a gap, really with no effort other than that one big sprint, which I shouldn't say was no effort because it's a lot of effort, and you can see that I'm paying for it now. My watts are really low. My heart rate at 164 is a lot for me, so I'm trying to back it down. And I'm looking back at the group like, please, please catch me. I don't really want to do this. But, you know, if I could draw somebody out to have to put in watts to cover me or to try to catch me, even though in my head I know I'm not going to do any work unless it was literally given to me on a silver platter. So see who passes here. I have forced Bryant in the other red and black, not on our team. And then these 4, 5, 6 guys, let's just say the front 6 guys, had to do a pretty good amount of pulling to pull me back. All right, so now my friend John, or my teammate John, goes on an attack here. You see him move up the left, again on the tailwind section, and not hard enough to get separation. So tailwind section. not where you want to be attacking. On straightaways, not where you want to be attacking. And yeah, you see the little argy-bargy in the middle? No reason for that. So in any event, rollers. Okay, so John makes us all work really hard, but it doesn't really net any meaningful tactic for our group. Now, perhaps it helps too, because that softened the group. Andy softened the group when he went up the road. I softened the group when I went up the road. So we're still, think all three of us felt really good. Oh, here's a good example. So this gentleman, roller guy, leaves a little bit of a gap here. And I know he's hurting because he left that gap, and I'm going to scoot up to the side. Regardless of my ability to get a perfect draft, I don't know exactly how far he is from me at the back, but I know he wasn't able to keep up. So I'm going to scoot up on the side to create a bigger gap to make life harder on him and anyone behind him, that he's going to have to close even harder to close that gap, because I am not going to be one more bike length that he can reach. So I felt really good, so I can afford to go out in the wind and make life harder for others. All right. So here's what happened in the race. So after I saw John's attack, I wanted to do another attack, but then I thought, well, rather than just do another attack, I'm going to talk to John, because there's a reason I want to do another attack. I want to show him what I think it takes to get away from this group. So John drifts to the back. You saw him just there for a second, and then I have a chance to talk to John, and I say, hey, listen, I'm going to go on an attack. It's not going to amount to anything, but after they pull me back, that's when you need to leave. And you need to go, I think I told him, you need to go twice as hard as you did last time. So then we settle in, because I'm not quite ready to do this yet. I'm way at the back. I'm too far back to just throw out an attack. And again, we're on the tailwind section, so not where I want to do this. So I think I'm going to go, there was actually a lap in between this cut. So this was like a lap and a half later, but I'm positioning myself to get in a position for the next turn going into the headwind section to hit this attack, and I'm going to use the turn to my advantage. So now I'm sitting six wheel. Maybe I should have been a little bit further back, but that's okay. I'm a little bit exposed to the wind, but I'm going to cut inside. I'm going to hit huge watt numbers here, by the way. Look at that. Look at that. 1658. That Training Peaks does not think that's an all-time record, but I really do. So there's a little bit of a rise there. I was going so fast into that corner, I thought I was going to overcook it and go over the curb, but I didn't, so that's really good. Now you can see my heart rate is climbing, climbing, climbing. And again, I'm only doing this because I'm going to soften the field, and honestly, I'm showing John, this is what I want to see you do when you attack the group. So again, headwind section, into the turn. I'm giving two obstacles to dissuade someone from coming after me. One, they would have to start sprinting right into a turn. That's difficult to catch my wheel. And then they would have to be forced to go through the headwind to try to catch up with me. That's not fun. So the chances of me getting a gap like I did, which is pretty sizable already, is fantastic. And then they announced a preem. I think must have announced it then. So I won a pair of sunglasses, which I'm going to give to you guys in a giveaway coming up. There's my family cheering for me. Love it when they're there. It's so much fun. Truly makes a difference in how I race when my son he seems to go crazy with the cowbell and screaming at me and everything else. So I love it if I can get a little bit of break to get him excited and make bike racing a little more fun, to pay off all that time sitting in a car to watch me go around in circles. So thanks, family. Appreciate that. All right, so here we are again. I'm trying to make the course as short as possible, so I'm staying onto the inside. And then you can see where I'm second guessing my life choices here. My watts drop really low. I look back, of course, and I'm seeing a huge gap. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you're just going to give it to me, I guess I'll go put some work in. But again, I'm not a breakaway type of person, and certainly not a solo breakaway type of person from a strong field with half an hour left to go in this race. But I'm all the way out here, and at least I'm going to get these sunglasses. So that's what I do. Put my head back down and get to work. So this is only going to last for a short amount of time. You can see I put my hands up on the bars to try to be more aero. I had my big fat goofy aero helmet on, and I'm just doing the best I can to be as narrow as possible, as small as possible in the wind, and to maintain some speed. Now the group, when we were watching the group, they weren't hitting, they would hit 27, 28 miles an hour on this straightaway. I'm only hitting 26. That's not ideal for a breakaway. This early in a breakaway, but there is a concept here where you hit there's my son, yeah, go get him, he's yelling at me, watch the rear view, just screaming at me to go. That's so cool, love it. All right, so he It's very motivating when I go by them. And I'm also trying to stay in the shadows of these trees. It is literally so hot that is actually a tactic of mine, is to ride through the shadows of the trees to try to get that 0.00001 degree cooler if I can. So, all right, here we go up again, up the hill. And I think I'm going to pull the plug on my little move up here. I see the group back there. You can see them turning the corner. I'm sure I looked before I turned or right after I turned and saw them coming. And what I saw was someone back there pulling really, really hard. Now, I am quite confident that between John and Andy, they're covering things, they're blocking, they're doing great teammate work. So they have a lot to do with me getting away here for this moment. But again, this whole attack was really just a setup for this next little move. And again, I mean, if they're going to give it to me on a silver platter, I'd keep going. But you know, you could tell they were pushing hard. So now I've put work into this gentleman who's going to close here. He had to close that whole gap, brought the whole field with him. I guess I would say that to them, is if you're going to close a gap like that, you should sprint away from the group and not bring the whole group up to me. That'd be good. So here's John on his attack. Now he's going to go right into the corner, which is great. So now look what everyone else has to do. They either have to sprint into a corner with Andy on the front blocking, or not, because you can't really do that. But the one person who does is Patrick, who's the teammate that we were fine to accept from the other team, because we had a really good feeling that would be the teammate they would like to have in a break. So without Patrick going, these other teammates would have pulled John back and pulled John back and pulled John back. So there's a certain amount of necessary evil to take the teammate, or take the opponent with you. But let's look what's happening now. Now we've whittled down the competition to a 50% chance that we're going to win. Patrick is a significantly better sprinter than John, so you know, it's unlikely that John's going to be able to pull this off, but we'll see tactically what you guys think here in a minute. So John and Patrick go around the corner, and then you're going to see where the race just ends right here. That rider on the front who put in lots of work and is really, really strong, he turns around here, and that's just not going to happen. If no one's going to come around, I'm sorry, it's this rider from in the red and blue and black right there. He put in a great effort, but no one came to help him after that. So as soon as he hung his head or turned his head, I knew, boom, they're gone. Because John does not mess around when he gets a gap. So then our job is to cover everything, Andy and I. So anything that goes up the road, we're going to cover. Here's Andy covering a move, and I was going to if I needed to. And then once I see Andy covers it, I can drift back and collect my thoughts. Here comes another one. And pay attention to the duration. Now we're 34 minutes into this race. Again, it's 60 minutes. So this is a hard one. So I cover that, and this is the rider that put in the big attack, tried to pull John and Patrick back. Really strong rider. Sorry, don't have his name in front of me. But let's see him turn around. He sees that it's me, or I'm a Diablo. Not that it's me, but he sees that my teammate is up the road, and he knows I'm not going to work. Instantly shuts it down. So that is exactly what we want. Cover everything. Here we go again. There's going to be an attack coming up on the left, I believe, if I remember correctly. But just me moving up has attention. And and not just me, but so this Hollander rider from the front goes. Okay, there's our friend again. Sorry, that's it. Now this one I'm going to let open up because I see that they took the other team with him in this little 3-man group. So I was okay to let that go, but my teammate Andy was not so confident, so he closes that down, which is probably absolutely the right move. I probably should have closed it. Perhaps I was too tired. All right, here we go with another attack. Again, into the tailwind section. Not a great place to do it, and not enough separation. So strong rider from Trek, able to close that, and I'm just going to hang out on his wheel. Another attack. Oh, this is a little bit later on. That rider did a whole lap. I think he's just getting a workout at that point. And then we're going to see a move come up on the right. This is Bryant. And a good strong attack there from the side, again on the tailwind section, so not the best place to do it in my opinion. But he puts in a good effort here, and again turns around and sees that it's a Diablo rider, and is pretty much shuts it down at that point. Okay, another attack coming up here. Yep, this one I cover, just sort of went with the momentum. I think I saw that person accelerating early enough that I was able to just meet him on the other side and go with him. Now we get a big gap here. I feel like if I would have turned around and seen that, I probably would have contributed, because this is far into the race. There's only 10 minutes left. You can see the pace car is back with us, so that means the leaders are about to lap the field. So there's no chance that we're going to catch my teammate maybe I should have stuck with that one. All right. Another attack from our friend that is a very strong rider and attacks a lot. I think Andy covers that. There goes Andy, covers that one. Now there's 9 minutes left in this race, so we're getting low on time. Another little gap move. Andy does this sort of, I don't want to call it a fake attack because it's pretty real. But he goes up the road, and again, if people are going to let him do it, great. Andy can stick that any day of the week. So I initially went, and then I thought better of it. I got my head around my head wrapped on straight, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that. I want other people to. I want to create a gap that other people have to close and make life more difficult for them. And that's what happens. Okay, now we are down to 2 laps to go in this race. That breakaway is just gone. We are actually about to see them come back because they've just, what did they do? Those 2 guys have lapped us. So here comes my teammate right back to the front of the group after literally just lapping the field. Comes right back up to the front. Later after the race, I'm like, why'd you come right to the front? He's like, oh, I still wanted to do the job of leading you guys out. I love John. So dutiful. So that's awesome. But this is the trick. Like, I literally have no idea what I could do to put John in a better position to win at this point. He's not a great sprinter. Patrick's with him. I have one other teammate with me. I don't know what to do. All I could think to do was try to get this podium position. So then John's going to come right back to the front here and start pulling, I believe. So there's 1.5 laps to go. Laps to go. John comes up to the front here to do his job. Andy sees him. John waits a little bit. Patrick's on him. So first and second on the road right there. Andy gets on him, and then I get on Andy. So we're in a pretty good position. I know John is beat, but he can hold this at a pretty good pace. We're going 29 miles an hour. It's not very attractive to want to go around this move with 1 lap to go as soon as we go through start-finish here. So this is good. We're going fast enough. We're not going at a great clip, but good enough for this stage of the 1 lap to go. So we're going to pass through here, and again, I'm still trying to think, like, gosh, is there anything I could do to get Patrick out of position? Is there anything I could do to separate John? Should I be leading John out? Like, there's really not much I can come up with. Patrick is a significantly stronger sprinter than John, so I don't know. I'm curious what your comments are. So leave your comments in there, what you would have done in this situation. 2 teammates in the field, 1 teammate laps the field in a rough position to be able to win against the breakaway partner. So in any event, John does an incredible job. Again, I just can't reiterate how awesome this teamwork for this whole race was. Andy covered literally everything, was just an awesome teammate to have, and very strategic before the race, and our team meeting had a lot of very good insights for setting up how this day should roll out, and it went exactly like Andy had said. So this is the moment where, okay, we got to go. You can see the back camera. People are mushrooming out. People are moving around, and I'm sensing this. So I tell Andy, we got to go, and Andy hits the gas. So I'm in his draft pulling 600 to 400 watts all the way through to the finish. I think we messed up the ideal lead out for the black and fluoro team. So Brian Leatherman in the blue shoes is on my wheel. Really, really good sprinter. Usually beats me like 99% of the time. But Andy leads out, and then I get on Brian's wheel because Brian goes around just a little bit early, which, I think was the right move. I think I waited too long and put myself in a really dangerous position. But I was able to come around Brian at the last second and was able to get a little bike throw here to get 3rd place on the podium. So that is how the race unfolded. We got 2nd and 3rd, and very happy with that at state championship. So it was an awesome day. So that's John breaking away. That's me in the field. Here's the photo finish of this sprint with Brian, me on top, Brian on bottom, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be on the podium yet or not. And then the podiums were a little bit strange in terms of height, so I felt really, really short against these really tall gentlemen. So that was fun. And this is what it's all about, having fun with your friends.